Good day, everybody, and welcome to the Oakville Chamber Q&A series. Yes, we've got Irina Mihaela from Entrepreneurial Enlightenment. She is a business coach and energy healer. Hi, Irina. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Shane. Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Now, today's topic is on critical decision-making in times of pressure and uncertainty. So it's a big topic, especially right now. I'd like to start by learning a little bit about entrepreneurial enlightenment and what the idea behind it is.
Yeah, so entrepreneurial enlightenment, business and spirituality, those are the two elements. What I saw very early in my business career is that the business is a vehicle for personal growth, like to continually growing. And also what I noticed that is when you do business without ego and without fear, the business is better. And you probably, I know you work in sales, when people have fears, they don't make that sales phone call.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And when people have ego, they don't connect with their customers or with their employees, like there is always a bit of trouble. So the part about the enlightenment is when we are able to transcend the ego and the fears and we make business that is meant to be for the greater good, because I believe in purpose and I believe our business is a vehicle for us to make the world a better place.
Well, I 100% agree with that. I'm big on not the typical sales approach, as you know. Now, when it comes to the critical decision-making, though, what is your process that's going to help these folks?
Yes, I've been working with quite a few businesses to make critical decisions, and there is a lot of pressure and a lot of frustration around businesses these days, and we humans sometimes get tired of not having made a decision, and we tend to say, okay, just let's make a decision to have a decision. Yeah. But when it's a critical decision and it's influencing your business for maybe quite some time, then we need to be able to stay centered and relieve this pressure and make a decision that is based on some strategy, some values, because each company has values. So when a decision is to be made, people need to find options. A lot of the time, people think I'm doomed if I do and I'm doomed if I don't. But always find the third, the fourth option, the fifth option. The more options someone can find before they're making a decision, the better the decision will be.
Well, doomed if you do, doomed if you don't leads to a bad decision. You do have to think outside the box. I've experienced that throughout my career a couple of times, and unfortunately that does mean you're stuck in the long term dealing with a problem that you're going to have to end up fixing or retracting or whatever it may be at some point anyway. Now, how would you say that you would help relieve the pressure and fear, based on making these critical decisions?
Yeah, so the pressure is to know that a critical decision needs time to be made. So not to allow the pressure of the situation. Like I used to work in nuclear engineering and we had to keep the reactor safe. So there was a lot of pressure to make a decision. But always we had a system in place where we consulted the experts, where we analyzed the data. So taking the time and giving yourself the time to make that decision and not say, okay, I have to make it today. That's how you relieve the pressure.
Right. Okay.
Then the fear is a totally different monster, if you may.
Yeah.
Because, our brain is made to fight or flight, where we have this survival mechanism. So we tend to be afraid of certain things. But in order to relieve the fear, we have to first go to the worst case scenario. So the worst case scenario, I know people don't like that, like the heart sinks when they think about the worst case scenario. But if the secret is, if you in the worst case scenario can find a solution to still survive, maybe not thrive, but to still be able to function and keep the business open or do what you're meant to do, then everything else will be better. So that reduces the fear. And then the other strategy that I have for reducing fear is to think of bad situations that you had to deal in the past and how you dealt with them and how you overcame them. So that kind of really brings the confidence up.
Okay. So can you expand on this with, on the side of making, certainty in uncertain situations?
Yeah, so because, like uncertainty is when we don't know what's happening, right? Like we have a situation today, we don't know what's going to be tomorrow, what rules will be or what else will be thrown our way. Mm-hmm. So the certainty always comes from inside. Like you have to go to, what do I know? What are my values? What are the company values? Why are we here? Who are we here to serve? Create that place where it only depends on you, like the path forward depends on you and not of the external factors. And yes, we do have external factors, but if we can make as much decision based on us and who we are and what we build, because each business has assets, like has employees, has processes, systems, clients, relationships, everything that you can count on, make that the certainty. And then that decreases the uncertainty of the facts. Because if we are out there scanning and looking, we get distracted. But when we come back to our values and our reason for being, we become more certain on our path forward.
Okay. It's funny, all the questions we have for you really tie in together well. So moving on with, how do you use both logic and intuition to make decisions? Why is it that you say that that's what we do?
Yes, because so when we make the decision, we have all the options. We go with the logic first, and we go with the pro and cons. We research, we talk with experts, lawyers, human resource, whatever, like people that we need the information from. So the logic gets through all the points, but the brain is like a computer. Whatever is programmed to do, that's what the brain will do. Mm-hmm. The intuition is the creative side, it's the feeling, it's the gut feeling, people call it, or hunch, and sometimes it's surprising when we look at the options and we think, how do I feel about this option? How do I feel about this option? Oh, good. And then we look at the option and the logic says, no way that's going to work. Like you get that. But the next question is, if that would be the best option, how would that be possible? So I believe then you come back and you bring back the intuition and the logic and they agree, and that would be the option. Sometimes it's surprising what the intuition will throw.
Well, intuition's a strong force, so I can see why it'd be a little, bit of a gray area for folks when they look at that situation and trying to marry the two. But obviously, if you can make a decision using both, it's certainly very, very helpful, especially because this is about your business, your livelihood, and likely your passion. Now, fun little question for our members, which is, what have you got to offer our members? I know we've chatted about this already, and you do have an offer for the members.
Yes, I would like to offer like a 45 minutes to anyone who has to make a critical decision. And I will go through the process quickly, and I hope I can help.
Yeah. Well, I know for a fact there are a lot of our members that are making some very difficult decisions.
I know.
Whether that's based on, keeping and or hiring employees, leaving the space they're in. And these aren't decisions that you can make on a, as you said, we talked about earlier, it's not a snap decision. These decisions have to be thought out. So chamber members, should you need a little assistance with some critical thinking, I suggest you take Irina up on her offer, 45 minutes to find out, and to get a little assistance on making some of these decisions would be most valuable. Irina, thank you so very much for this. We really appreciate all your help today. Why don't you give us a little bit of your contact information on the video? It will be up on the website later as well, but Irina, go ahead and give us your contact info.
So Irina Mihaila, and you can find me like on LinkedIn, on Facebook. I would love to also connect with you. Shane also has 2 of those books. If you want one book, he has 2 to give away. Is Entrepreneur Enlightenment. If you search online, you will find me. I'll love to connect with you.
Oh, that's awesome, Irina. Thank you so very much. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this. Go out there, have a great day. Give me a call if you need anything. If you want to get connected with Irina, I'll take care of that for you as well. I can be reached at Shane Cullis at oakvillechamber.com or 905-845-6613. Looking forward to hearing from you folks. Enjoy your day. Cheers.